reporting from outside the site of what was the Auschwitz concentration camp to mark International Holocaust Remembrance Day. We want to remember the terror, the torture, the lives lost there, but also how it all started. Joe?
Well, it is noon here at Auschwitz on this commemoration day, and you know, Mika, in the age of social media and 24/7 news channels, we've become accustomed to the daily barrage of grim news reports and depressing stories from Ukraine to Ukraine. In addition to compartmentalize, we somehow digest the bad news and move on throughout the day. But for anybody who has set foot on the grounds of the Auschwitz death camp, there is no compartmentalizing of emotions. There is no moving on throughout the day. And there's no grasping the unparalleled evil that happened here and culminating in the systemic slaughter of 6 million Jews. How exactly does one comprehend how a country, an army, a single person perform such daily depraved acts on other human beings? And how the scale of these evil actions led to 6 million deaths? It's impossible. We simply cannot. But history does provide an understanding of how such horrors began. It began with a lie, and then more lies, and then the big lie. And in this tragic case, the lie was that Jews lost the First World War for Germany. These lies spread all too easily among Germans and led to Jewish homes and businesses being vandalized, led to Jews being singled out in those businesses and in schools, and led to a permissive attitude toward creeping anti-Semitism until the lies and the stigmatism of Jews led step by step by step to deportations, to executions, and to extermination. This first chapter of the Holocaust against the Jewish people is why we're here, to remind ourselves that anti-Semitism can never be allowed to find safe harbor again in polite society, whether on elite college campuses, on social media platforms, or in country clubs with former presidents. Passive acceptance invites violence. Holocaust survivor and Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal warned that, quote, "Violence is like a weed. It does not die, even in the greatest drought." And he warned President Carter in the White House in 1980 that Hitler and Stalin are alive today. They are waiting for us to forget, because in forgetting, we make possible the resurrection of these monsters. So it is that on these grounds, in this gathering today, this Holocaust Museum bears daily witness to what happened here and across Europe not so long ago. Mr. Wiesenthal wrote at the end of his life that his entire life of hunting down Nazis was driven by a singular focus: to send a warning to the murderers of tomorrow. You will never rest. And neither should we. Never rest. Never forget. Willie?
And as you say, Joe, these issues and anti-Semitism newly resident right now. President Biden is vowing to keep up efforts to stamp out anti-Semitism in the United States. In a statement on this day, the president writes, in part, "Sadly, we have seen over and over again that hate never goes away. It only hides, waiting to reemerge whenever it is given just a little bit of oxygen. And today, across our country, we're seeing swastikas on cars, anti-Semitic banners on bridges, verbal and physical attacks against Jewish businesses and Jewish Americans, even Holocaust denialism." The president continued on International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and every day, the United States stands with Holocaust victims, their families, and their descendants. We remember. We honor their stories. We will face down the hate and the lies that carry in them the terrifying echoes of one of the worst chapters in human history. And Joe, you've been in Warsaw now for a couple of days. I know you were in the Warsaw Ghetto yesterday. Got a sense of the place. Now standing outside of Auschwitz, I'm just curious, what does it feel to be there, particularly on this day?
ancient history. It just simply does not now. In part because the specter of war hangs over the people of Warsaw, the people of Poland, the people of Eastern Europe. They are seeing to the east of them a war that resembles World War I, World War II, and it's always present in their minds. They've accepted millions of refugees into their country, millions of refugees into their homes, and anti-Semitism in Europe, across America, far more pronounced, far more public than it's been in quite some time. There's, Willie, we've always seen creeping anti-Semitism across Europe and across our country, but it has become far too prevalent of late, whether it's been with extremely popular music stars, whether it's been with social media sites inviting neo-Nazis back on to their platform, whether it's been ex-presidents inviting neo-Nazis into their home, into their clubs. It's become far more prevalent. That gives permission. That gives permission and invites a permissive attitude towards anti-Semitism that leads to far too many acts of anti-Semitism taking place across this country. One of my children called earlier this week and talked about how a friend's dorm room, the door of the dorm room, the Jewish girl, had a swastika put on it earlier this week. And multiply that out hundreds of times, thousands of times a week, a month, and we see, again, we must never rest, we must never forget, and you just can't be here. It is remarkable, and it is a reminder. Again, Willie, the thing that I just haven't been able to grasp, and I don't think anybody can grasp, is the totality of this evil. But again, by focusing on how it began in Germany in 1933, 1934, 1935, we can see the warning signs for our country, the warning signs for the rest of the world.
Well, the perils that we face today, part of the reason why you are there right now, Joe, give us a sense of what else we can expect to see in the 4 hours to come on Morning Joe. I understand you'll be talking to the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff.
Yeah, the second gentleman is here. He has toured. He's taken a tour of Auschwitz already this morning. He is touring the area throughout the day and going to a service. It happens every year, a commemorative service. You saw a picture of him there with your brother, Ambassador Mark Brzezinski, who of course comes to this event now every year. And this is very personal for Doug for so many reasons, but he's going to be spending time here. It's going to also go to an ancestral home here, a family of his, a Jewish family of his who lived here throughout the war. So I'll be talking to Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman, later on this morning, who will have that for you.
Joe, we'll look forward to that conversation coming up in just a little bit. We'll see much more of you throughout the morning.
It's great to see you. We've already shown pictures of you walking around the camp, you at the memorial service. Can you even put into words what this day means?
I'm really still processing it. We just left and came right here, and it really is hard to talk about it right now. It's very emotional. We were there a long time, and I was like, what did I see? And you see where people were murdered. 1 million people were murdered there in cold blood because of anti-Semitism. And it's the little things though. They have displays of children's shoes. They have the glasses that they took off of the bodies. They have women's hair. They have all these things that make it so real. And for those folks who would deny that this happened, see what we just saw. It's as real as it gets.
is so massive that I've always found it hard to get my arms around it, that this could ever happen. And it's so overwhelming, but it's those little things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's those little things. I think it's Spielberg's movie where there's a little girl in the red coat. It's the shoes, like you're talking.
And you see within the shoes, there are bits of color, and that's exactly what you're thinking about. And again, these were people. There's one display there where they're showing almost the before and after, where you see these beautiful scenes of people, Jewish people, but what are they doing? They're just living their everyday lives. Right. And then they show this horrific anti-Semitism. And you hear it. You actually hear the voices. And then the third thing you see is death.
By the way, Jewish people, many of them, did not leave because even they at that time couldn't imagine. Anti-Semitism has been with us for thousands of years, but this was so different. I want to ask you, one of the reasons we're here on an anniversary that doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, this was what's going on in America. Right. Talk about, sadly, anti-Semitism rising in America.
It's they're not just saying the quiet part, now they're screaming it. And it's almost becoming too everyday, and we can't normalize it, Joe. And that's one of the reasons the administration has been so strong on this. I think the president said in his statement, but he said this many times, he ran for president because of those tiki torches in Charlottesville. Jews will not replace us.
Right.
And he told me a story before the trip. He took me to the Oval Office, and he's just so passionate about this issue. He told me the story about his own father, who would talk to then young President Biden about the Holocaust and how outraged his own father was, and how he has been to Dachau, his children, his grandchildren.
Here's what his father said. He took his children.
He did. To Dachau. Yeah, and so we spent a good 20 minutes in the Oval Office before this trip, because he just wanted me to know how important this issue is to him and this administration.
Talk about how important it is to you. Talk about your family. You're going to be going to an ancestral home.
Yeah, it's emotional. I learned just last year that one of the things you could do as a gentleman, you do naturalization ceremonies. So we went to Ellis Island, and I got to see the ship leisure from where my father's grandfather and his family came from Poland, right? And about 120 years ago. So we are part of this visit, again, to really talk about anti-Semitism and work with our European allies on this, is also to kind of see where I came from, right? And it's right here, and it's going to be intense, but I'm looking forward to doing that.
It's also, well, we talk about where you came from. We talk about Poland. You look at what this town has done in the shadow of Auschwitz, what this building's doing. We're now moving into a synagogue that, of course, is empty because at the start of in 1933 there were millions of Jews in Poland. By the end of the war, tens of thousands. Now very little. But this entire place is actually a museum. It talks about the importance of tolerance, the importance of accepting others, the lessons learned.
It's so important to do that, and it's so important to do it on an interfaith basis.
Right.
I know you're so passionate about this issue. A lot of the people that we met today, the executive director and the tour guide, are not Jewish. A lot of the people that have come up to me to thank me for speaking out and doing this work, supporting the administration's work on pushing back on anti-Semitism, are not Jewish. And they want to work with me and the administration on pushing back, because, again, we see what happens. We saw the history 75, 80 years ago, and we're seeing what's happening today. Right? We've got to push back on it.
This town around us was predominantly Jewish, and this was the synagogue, and we're walking into the main synagogue here. And again, it's used now only for those who come from Auschwitz ordinary people who carried out unspeakable barbarism. It was ordinary people who were slaughtered, and it was ordinary people who were complicit by just standing by. Talk about that. And again, the warning that that sends to Americans today after everything that you've seen in Auschwitz.
Yeah, this is why we do this work. This is why we have to educate people on what the Holocaust is, what it meant, what anti-Semitism is, what it meant, and what it can mean. And it is. It's this finality of evil that they talk about. And we have to push back on it. That's why I always say we can't normalize it. Anytime we hear it, we've got to call it out. And there has to be consequence to it as well. We need leaders, and you talk about this all the time. You've got so-called leaders who see this stuff, hear this stuff, and they know better. Right? And they don't say a word. Right? They don't say a word because some lack courage. So we cannot have that. This is not a both sides issue. There are not two sides to the Holocaust. There's not two sides to anti-Semitism. We all must speak up and speak out and be aligned on this so we can avoid what we're seeing right here, what I just walked out of, and what we're seeing today. We cannot have it.
So we're here in Poland again, in the shadow of this place where unspeakable horrors were committed. Is there any final words you'd like to say to the Morning Joe family from Poland about what you've seen, what they need to be aware of?
Let's just make sure that this doesn't become just a once-a-year story or only when we hear these horrible instances of anti-Semitism that we're seeing. This needs to be all the time. You know, I am here for the marking International Holocaust Remembrance Day, but we need to remember it every day. And so I'd ask your viewers, you know, there's so much going on all the time, and we get caught up in all these things. That's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about doing this work on behalf of the administration. Yes, there's lots going on, but this has to be front and center, because if we let this hatred, this epidemic of hate just keep spreading, it's going to affect all of you out there. It's not just about Jewish people, it's about all of us.
All right, Second Gentleman Douglas and Jeff, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, newly elected governor. Governor, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate your time. I will start with what we were just discussing.
It's good to be with you. By the way, I'm just going to say I appreciate that you picked the Birds to win. So that's good. That's a good start to the interview there.
That's where I was going with you. I mean, the Eagles, I'm a Giants fan. I'm from New Jersey, right across the border from where you are. But, man, you put one on us last Sunday. You confident they got it in them again this weekend?
Yeah, without question. Look, the 49ers are a good team, a really good team. But I think Purdy, man, he has not faced Hassan Reddick and the kind of defense that we're going to bring at him, the pressure we're going to bring at him. I'll take Jalen Hurts over Purdy, 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. Birds are going to win by at least a touchdown.
At least a touchdown. All right, you heard it here. Yeah, Hurts might be the MVP of the league. We'll see. Let's talk about some of your state business. You ran an impressive campaign to win, to become the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Now that you're sitting in that big chair, what have been some of your first initiatives? What have you gotten done so far?
Look, first off, I'm just incredibly humbled by the opportunity that millions of Pennsylvanians gave me to serve as their governor. And, Willie, when I went in the office the first day, it's an office steeped in history. They have portraits of all the governors who have served on the 48th up on the wall. And you look up and you've got William Penn staring down at you from the front. And you've got Ben Franklin on the side looking at you. You realize, you're just part of this link in history where your job is to try and make this place a little bit better off than the way you found it. And so now that responsibility falls to me. And I believe as governor, we need to create real freedom and real opportunity for all Pennsylvanians. That's why in my first executive order on day one, I signed an executive order doing away with the college degree requirement for thousands of state government jobs, actually 65,000 to be exact, 92% of our jobs. Because I fundamentally believe every Pennsylvanian should have the freedom to chart their own course and and have a real opportunity to succeed here in the Commonwealth. And I think our government should be an example of that, giving everybody the opportunity. If they can push those doors of opportunity open, then we're going to let them walk through and have productive lives here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Amen to that. That sounds like a good idea, and putting more of an emphasis on work experience than education experience at that college level. You also made an interesting move, Governor, that caught a lot of people's attention, naming the Secretary of the Commonwealth, Al Schmidt. He, people may remember, ran the elections in Philadelphia. He's a Republican, kind of stood in the door as Philadelphia's electoral process was attacked by Donald Trump, was attacked by the man you ran against to become governor. Why was that a significant decision and an important choice for you?
I made a commitment during the campaign that my first cabinet appointment would be a pro-democracy Secretary of State. This isn't about Democrats and Republicans. This is about people who value our freedom, who cherish our Constitution, who are willing to do the hard work necessary to defend our democracy. Al Schmidt, who led our election efforts in Philadelphia as the former commissioner there, demonstrated that commitment to democracy. In fact, he was given a medal to recognize that fact by President Biden just a few weeks ago. This isn't about partisanship. This is actually about a moment of bipartisan commitment to democracy. And we need more of that in our system. More times where Democrats and Republicans can come together to actually get things done. And I'm not sure there's anything more important than protecting our fundamental freedoms and our democracy. And Al is the exact right guy to lead that effort for me.
Governor Shapiro, good morning. Jonathan Lemire, a sad, common topic of discussion this week has been gun violence. There's been a number of mass shootings, the two in California most notably. Pennsylvania, of course, no stranger to acts like that as well. But it's also, of course, a proud hunting state. Talk to us about the situation with guns and public safety and how you balance the two in your Commonwealth.
Well, first off, this level of violence and the number of mass shootings we're seeing from California all across this country to Pennsylvania, of course, it's absolutely unacceptable. And it doesn't have to be this way. People have a right to both be safe and feel safe in their communities. So part of this has to be hiring more law enforcement to keep our communities safe. But it also has to be treating the underlying causes of violence, the underlying reasons why people are picking up guns in the first place. We need to make sure that there's a real effort on education and prevention. We also need to keep guns out of the hands of those who shouldn't have them, criminals and others. We are a proud hunting state, as you said. We've got a long history and heritage of responsible gun ownership. I'll tell you what, every responsible gun owner I talk to also agrees with me that we got to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. So we need uniform background checks. We need to adopt red flag laws in Pennsylvania. I worked hard as Attorney General to close the ghost gun loophole, which is really becoming the weapon of choice for criminals here in the Commonwealth. We need to expand that and make sure we keep guns away from those who would use them to do harm for others. We can balance this, and I think Pennsylvania is a great example of that, where we can balance the rights of hunters and this great heritage and history we have, also with the right to both be safe in our communities when we walk down the streets or when we send our children to schools.
What are you feeling? It's not good. I need help.
This is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and we've been reflecting this morning on the genocide there and how we as a society can ensure it never happens again. The AP called your election a, quote, high note amid a surge of anti-Semitism, and you spoke about a Jewish heritage on the campaign trail across Pennsylvania, a state that saw the nation's deadliest instance of anti-Semitism in the 2018 Tree of Life synagogue attack in Pittsburgh, which claimed 11 lives, and just wondering what your thoughts are today.
Well, first off, I want to commend Joe and you and the whole team at Morning Joe for shining a light on what happened at Auschwitz. We must never forget, and the fact that you're speaking about it and putting it on your show, make sure others get educated. You know, when I was sworn in 9 days ago, 10 days ago now, I was sworn in on a stack of Bibles. One was our family Bible, The other was a Bible carried by a U.S. serviceman from Pennsylvania who liberated the death camps, who defeated fascism, who defeated the Nazis in World War II. He carried this Bible with him. He earned a Purple Heart in the process. The second Bible I carried with me, or I was sworn in on, was a Bible that was at the Tree of Life Synagogue on that fateful day when 11 were murdered while they worshipped. Here in Pennsylvania, that occurred, the deadliest act of anti-Semitism in our nation's history. Here in Pennsylvania, a place that was founded on religious tolerance by William Penn, where he invited people from all different walks of life, all faiths, to come and live and work and worship here in Pennsylvania. And so to have that deadly act of anti-Semitism in this place of religious tolerance certainly is a dark moment in our history. Yet, just 4 years later, as a proud American of Jewish faith, I was elected by a record number of Pennsylvanians, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, to lead this Commonwealth forward, which shows that when we understand our history, Pennsylvanians can indeed find light in the midst of darkness, can indeed move forward. And so the fact that you are helping educate the public about what happened in the Holocaust, the fact that we can learn those lessons in the past, the fact that we can make the kind of progress that we're making here in Pennsylvania shows that this is a great country with great hope and great promise if we understand our history and if we chart a more tolerant course for our future.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, thank you very much for being on the show this morning. We appreciate it. Democrat is launching a bid for Dianne Feinstein's Senate seat. Congressman Adam Schiff officially entered that race yesterday, just days after he was removed from the House Intelligence Committee by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. He took a jab at the California Republican on Twitter yesterday, writing, "Happy birthday, Kevin. I'm running to be your next U.S. Senator." It will likely be a crowded Democratic primary field. Congresswoman Katie Porter has already announced her campaign. Congresswoman Barbara Lee reportedly told colleagues she plans to run. And Congressman Ro Khanna has said he is considering a Senate bid as well. As for Senator Feinstein, she gave an update on her timeline for a decision on whether she will seek re-election for another 6-year term.
Senator, when are you going to make your decision about 2024?
Oh, probably in a couple of months. My husband passed away not too long ago. So I want to get through it. He had cancer, and as you know, it was hard health. So I think I'll just take some time.
What would you make of people who are already announcing, like,
Oh, I think it's all fine. I think people should, if they want to run, run. For me, I just need a little bit more time.
And Congressman Adam Schiff joins us now. Congressman, thank you very much for being on this morning. We'll want to talk about your announcement, but I first want to talk to you about the work in Congress. We haven't spoken to you since you got bumped off the Intel Committee. What are your biggest concerns about working with this new Congress moving forward?
Well, I'm deeply concerned with the Speaker's actions in attacking the independence of the Intelligence Committee. We've never had a Speaker who would decide for the other party who would be the leading Democrat on that committee. That in conjunction with the establishment of this new select committee on the so-called weaponization of the federal government, which will have access to classified information, those two acts, I think, will cause the Intelligence Committee to distrust the Congress and be reluctant to share information that policymakers need to make critical decisions about national security. So, another early indication that Kevin McCarthy is going to do the bidding of the most extreme elements of his conference, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and do so as a disservice to the country.
What do you make of the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, people who have pushed disinformation, are now leading and they're sitting on these committees?
Well, this shows the weakness, not the strength of Kevin McCarthy, that George Santos, this serial fraudster, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Paul Gosars, these extreme kind of QAnon members who've encouraged violence against other members of Congress, are being seated and given important responsibilities because McCarthy needs their votes. It's, a party bankrupt of morality now, divorced from the truth, and wedded to these crazy people in their conference.
Congressman, good morning. Let's talk about your aspirations for a new job in the United States Senate. You made that announcement yesterday that you're jumping in the race for the seat currently held by Dianne Feinstein. We talked to Katie Porter, Congresswoman Porter, when she got in. It's widely expected that Congresswoman Barbara Lee will get in. Looks like most of the House delegation from California is going to run in this race. They all have strong progressive credentials. So how do you set yourself apart? Why are you different from these other candidates in the race?
Well, I think if you look at the critical fights to protect our democracy, the critical fights to strengthen our economy, I've been at the center of those struggles for the last decade, leading the investigations into President Trump's misconduct, leading the first impeachment trial to the first bipartisan vote to convict a president in U.S. history, participating in the January 6th hearings and exposing all of the multiple efforts to overturn our election and interfere with a peaceful transfer of power, and championing an economy that will work for everyone. I think a big part of the reason why our democracy is vulnerable is that for the last 3 decades, our economy has become structured in such a way that millions of people are seeing their quality of life slip away. Their concerns about their children's future are profound, and it has left people open to a demagogue who promises that he alone can fix it. For people that want to support my campaign or learn more, they can go to adamschiff.com to donate. But these are the cardinal issues that I've shown. I think the kind of leadership California expects